where we are going to learn about servers, we will learn Intunes, and we will learn Azure. Okay, so about me, I'm your trainer and I do have 9 years of industry experience. And right now I'm working in a MNC and working as a senior cloud architect. And I'm working with, I'm teaching from last 5 years in various Microsoft technologies like SCCM, Intunes, mcsa, then Azure. So mostly Azure, Microsoft technologies I used to teach, right? So as I mentioned, today we'll talk about the combo batch. All right, so I'm just sharing my screen. Just let me know once it is visible for everyone. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Combo, Windows Server, Intune, and the AZ104. See guys, if you are a system administrator, or let's say if you are already working as a desktop support, system administrator, Windows administrator, right? And you are feeling stuck in your career, then in that case, this is the right option, this is the right choice where you can make your decision and you can grow technically as well as financially. Because see, now everybody is talking about cloud technologies, right? So we should focus on future now. So to work with cloud, to work with Azure, or to work with any of this, see, Intune is also a cloud-based technology. It is software as a service offering by the Microsoft, right? So to work on all these things, first of all, we should aware of Windows Server. Because ultimately, if you are configuring something on Azure, that is ultimately getting configured on a server itself. Only the difference is now infrastructure is not in your control. I mean, the hardware is not in your control because ultimately the hardware is going to be managed by the Microsoft. You need not to worry about. If something went wrong with the hardware, then will take care of it. Or you'll talk any of the cloud technology. Like if you're talking about AWS, then in that case, Amazon will take care of the failures. Everything Microsoft, Amazon or Microsoft or Google, right? These vendors will going to work whenever there would be a failure in the hardware. But on the back end, either you'll talking about the on-prem, you're talking about the cloud, the things are getting configured on the servers. So that is why server is the foundation. Server is the foundation, the base, which will make your clarity on Intune as well as Azure, or even I'm not talking about 104. Might be in future you are going to work on few more technologies, like you will work on Azure security, you will work on networking, right? Or you will work on cyber security, right? So you should have knowledge of these things, then only you can work on the other technologies. First of all, our base should be clear. We should be very handy with our base. We should be handy with the technologies, right? Then only we will be able to work on advanced technologies. So that is why we made this combo where we are going to make your foundation, where we are going to make your base clear, and then we are going to work on the advanced technologies. Like if you're talking about the DevOps part, also you're talking about the cyber security, right? So if we will talk about DevOps or cyber security, then you are going to manage, you are going to secure your server infrastructure, you're going to secure your cloud environment. So once we are going to have the clarity on these things, then it would be easy for you to implement the other advanced modules, right? So in this combo, first of all, we're going to start with Windows Server. In Windows Server, there would be multiple tools basically, or we are going to work on multiple roles and features of the server, like how to set up a web server, how to make a on-prem Active Directory, how to create a group policies, how to make a DHCP server, how to configure the failover clustering, how to configure the high availability of your web server. So multiple things would be there, or even might be you already working in the organizations, right? Or might be you have already experienced the things which you are working on right now. But definitely there would be some more things, there would be some advanced features which we are going to learn in my Windows Server. And we are going to work on Windows Server 2025 operating system, Server 2025 operating system. That is the latest one, right? So we will focus on 2025 server operating system. Okay, so first of all, we'll see the Windows Server, what and all things we are going to learn on in Windows Server. Then we'll talk about Intune and then AZ104. And then in between, I will give you some time also. If you have any query, just write down your queries and I will give you some time. You can unmute yourself and you may ask your questions. Definitely, I'll try to answer them. All right. 10. Okay, Windows Server. Yeah. Okay, first of all, why this combo matters? Even I have just explained already the things, right? That why we made this combo, why it is going to help you out, right? But still, if you want to just go through with it, seamless hybrid operations. Now in companies, the configuration is hybrid as well. They have their on-prem devices also, and they have the cloud devices also. They have their Windows server in the company itself, in their data center itself. But they want whatever the data is there in their on-prem devices, in their data center devices, they want to migrate the data to cloud. Or maybe they want to migrate the whole virtual machine or the whole Windows server to cloud. Or let's say they have their on-prem Active Directory and they want to move to Entra ID, Azure AD basically. So that is basically called as hybrid operations, where you are going to manage on premises, your own data center, as well as the infrastructure which is configured on Azure. So how to work with it, and even as you know, there's a combo this is the combo for 104 and the Windows Server, right? So obviously we will cover these things as well. That if I'm going to have my Windows Server in my on-prem environment, I want to configure the backup on cloud. I want to configure the backup on Azure. How I can do that? How to configure it, how to work in real time, or how companies are implementing all these things, that we will see in the whole module, right? Then you have MDM, Intunes. Now, earlier companies were managing their infrastructure through SCCM. Managing in the sense, let's say one of the user wants some application, or let's say you have 10,000 devices and you want to push some application onto those 10,000 devices. Now, obviously, it is not possible that you are going to do one by one. You should have some central console so that you can push that particular application into 10,000 devices. Or you all are already aware of that Microsoft used to release the patches second Tuesday of the month, right? And as a system admin, it is our responsibility that we should push those patches in our infrastructure, in our devices. So obviously we should have some central consoles so that we can manage those 10,000 devices. So earlier companies were doing it through SCCM. But with SCCM, there was one limitation. One limitation was there. What it was? The device should be in your on-premises network, in your local network, in your office network. Then only you can push the application. Then only you can push the updates. Then only you can manage the inventory of the device. Then only you can secure those devices through Defender. But now it is new era, right? So most of the companies like giving work from home to users. So if they are working from home, how I will be able to, how a system admin, as a system admin, I will be able to manage my devices. So that is why Intune is there. Through Intune, you can manage the device. You can apply your policies. You can define the security for your devices. You can push the applications. You can push the updates. You can put whatever kind of restriction you want to put for the users on the devices. Only the device should have internet connection. If the device is connected with the internet, then you will be able to control it. Right? So MDM Intune has that capability that you can manage the devices of your infrastructure. Or even now you are using Teams or Microsoft Outlook on your phone, right? But I don't know whether you have experienced it or not. It is applicable for my organization. So we are not able to take the screenshot while we are using Teams or Outlook. We are not able to copy any email, or we are not able to copy any WhatsApp, any, you know, Teams chat to our WhatsApp or to our message box also. So copy paste is not allowed. My phone is personal. I do have my phone, right? Company hasn't given me that phone. But still, I'm not able to copy paste the data. I'm not able to take the screenshots. Why? Because the policy has been applied through the Intune, which is making me to restrict of which is applying with the restriction of using these applications, right? So all these things we can manage through Intune. The security compliance and all, obviously, this is what I mentioned. If you want to just apply some security like screenshots, users will not be able to take, right? Or multiple things would be there. So all these things can be managed from the Intune portal itself. And now, yes, this is the future, because SCCM now gradually, still companies do have the SCCM in their environment, but slowly they are moving to the Intune. Because if I'm going to have Intune in my environment, I will be having the better control on my devices if I'll compare it with SCCM. Right? So that is why this course is going to help you out, in which you will learn Azure, the servers, or the device management through Intunes. Okay. Then we have, yes, as I mentioned, we are going to work on Windows Server 2025, which is the latest server operating system by the Microsoft. So there would be multiple things which you have seen in your organization, or which already companies are working on. So we are going to cover all those topics like AD, domain controllers, how to create the domain controller, how to manage the Active Directory, how to manage the user's account, how to manage their group memberships, how to give the access of our Active Directory to other users. Because ultimately we are not going to work on it. Might be there would be multiple IT users who are going to manage your AD. Okay, so how to give them the access so that they also will be able to work on the active directory, that all these things we will learn in the AD topic. Then we have DNS, domain naming system, which is very major. Even if you will talk about cloud as well as for on premises, DNS is the major thing that we should aware of. Forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone, what are records, what is forwarders, what are conditional forwarders, what are root hints, how to make a DNS server, how DNS resolves the query, primary zone, stub zone, secondary zone, active directory integrated zone. So multiple topics would be there in the DNS itself. We will learn about it. Then DHCP. Again, you can take example. If you are connecting your devices with your broadband, right? You are able to access internet on it. Why? Because the broadband has assigned one IP to your device, and on your device network address translation is configured. That is why you are able to access internet on the devices. Even in real time also, if you talk about companies as well, right? So how companies are implementing these things on the routers, how they are configuring the DHCP server, how they are making possible that the devices will be able to access the internet, right? So that we will cover in the whole DHCP topic. Under DHCP, there would be multiple topics like DHCP failover. If let's say your DHCP has some issue, your DHCP server has some issue, it went down due to some hardware failure. So obviously we should have some backup option. So in that scenario, we are going to configure the DHCP failover. Then we have one more DHCP relay agent. What it will do? If let's say I have different scopes in my environment, different scope in the sense I have different network range in my environment. Let's say I'm using class A, class B, class C, or even in class A itself, I'm using multiple network IDs. So how to distribute the IPs of different network IDs, that we are going to learn in DHCP relay agent. Then we'll talk about virtualization, Hyper-V. Whenever you will search out for any of the job for system administrator, Windows administrator, or desktop administrator, virtualization you should be aware of. That is the major thing. So how to work on Hyper-V, how to create the virtual machines, how to transfer the virtual machine from one Hyper-V to another Hyper-V, how to take the checkpoints, how to add the or expand the hard disk at the existing hard disk of the virtual machines, right? Storage of the virtual machines. So that we'll talk about in depth, that how virtualizations work in real time. And then hybrid cloud integration also. This is what I mentioned. If we have some data on the server, but I don't want to keep the data in my on-prem network or in my own data center. I want to migrate it to cloud. I want to synchronize the data to cloud. I can do that. We will cover this topic as well. Okay. Apart from these, there are multiple topics. I will show you one Excel in the end. There would be multiple topics related to the server itself. Okay. Then, so these are the basically the advanced feature or basically changes if you will compare it with server 2016, 19 or 22. So there are some, some improvements in server 2025, or basically you can say some features in server 2025. There would be enhanced security, there would be improved virtualization, and then there would be hybrid cloud integration also. Existing virtual machine, if let's say you are running one virtual machine or server 25, you want to migrate it to Azure directly, you can do that. Okay, so these would be some features. Then Intune also has some features like device management. You can manage your either Android devices, you can manage your Mac devices, you can manage Windows devices, right? You can apply the security policies also. What are bring your own devices, BYOD? If let's say companies are not giving laptop to the users, so how users will be able to use their personal laptop, and then they will be able to access your company's data using their own personal laptop. They will be able to reach your company's data. How? We have to configure BYOD, bring your own device, right? Then Azure AD integration. For Intune, Azure AD is the backbone. From Azure AD only, the Intune is going to get the data, that how many users are there in the company, how many devices are there in the company. I will show you the Intune portal also, don't worry. Okay. So ultimately, the backbone of Intune would be from where it is going to collect the data, that is Azure AD. So how to implement it, or even how to synchronize our on-prem AD with cloud AD, with Azure AD, that also we're gonna cover in this Intune module. Okay. Then, yeah, remote work revolution. This is what I was mentioning, right? So mostly now the users are working from home. But if they are working from home and I am not going to implement any kind of solution for my devices, then how I am going to have control on those devices? So Intune is one of them, through which if the user is working from home, then also we can keep an eye on our devices. Okay. Then 104, guys. Under 104, we'll talk about the resources, what and all types of resources Azure provides, like storage, VPN, firewalls, network, virtual machine scale sets, right? So this would be Azure resources, then virtual network, how to design and implement the Azure network, the Azure network infrastructure, then storage solution, how to configure the storage, blob storage, file storage, how to take the backup of the storage. If let's say there would be some issue, then what and all type what and all type of backup recovery policies we have we will configure in that scenario. So multiple things would be there in the storage solution itself. We will see in the real time if something went wrong, still how we will be able to get access of our data, that we will see in the storage solutions. Okay. Then you have identity service, IAM. Mostly you have heard about IAM, identity access management, or role based access management control are back. If let's say I'm working in the company and I do have the full control on Azure, full control in the sense I can create the infrastructure, I can delete it, I can manage the access of the users, I can delete the user, I can create the users, means I'm the global administrator basically. But I don't want to give the access to other users or the other IT users. I don't want to give them the access. I just want to give them that, yes, you are going to work on backup. So I will give you the backup. I will give you the rights for my backup itself. Rest, you will not be able to do anything. If someone is working on AD, so I'm just going to work on I'm just going to give the access of AD. Apart from that, he will not be able to make any change. If I want, the user will only be able to create the virtual machine. Apart from that, he will not be able to do. He should not be able to do anything. I can do that. I want to give the read-only access to the user. That user can see the virtual machine. He can't start it. He can't stop it. He can't delete it. He can't manipulate it. Nothing. He should not be able to do anything. I can do that. So it comes under identity services. That how to give the control or how to give the delegate control to the users. Okay. Then obviously, guys, there would be multiple career opportunities. If let's say you are going to do this combo, if you have the experience on all these things, and I will make sure, guys, that during, I think it will, the whole module will take 3 to 4 months, and I will make it sure that at least in your CV you can mention that you have already worked on these technologies for at least 2 years. So I will give you the training in such a way that you can mention in your CV itself that you have the experience on all these stuff of at least 2 years. And it is totally going to be the scenario based. Whole training is going to be scenario based or the real time based. That how companies are in real time working on it, how they have implemented these technologies for their organization. Or if let's say I am giving some, some services, right? Let's say I'm working in a service organization, right? So I'm giving some services to client. So what best solution I can give to my client, and I can onboard that client in my company, right? So that all scenarios, that all real time scenarios we will be discussing in this whole module. Okay. So after doing this, you can apply for the system administrator, or as I mentioned, if you're already stuck or if you're feeling like no, you're just stuck in your career, then obviously after doing these 2 3 courses, right, you can apply for the new jobs, or in the current organization itself, you can just apply for the senior level jobs also. Or if let's say there is any requirement for these technologies, you can apply for it. Okay. Azure administrator you can target, network engineer you can target, cloud engineer you can target. So basically this is one and same thing, right? Ultimately we should have the knowledge of those three things: servers, device management, Intune, and then the Azure 104. Okay. Yeah. So the powerful combination creates the perfect skill set for managing modern hybrid environment, in which again Windows Server, on premises foundation, right? Then cloud, then Intune. So these three things, these three technologies will definitely help you out in your career, or in order to grow in your career, technically as well as financially. Now, any doubt, any question before I'll show you a real-time portal, how that Intune portal looks like, how Windows Server looks like, and how Azure portal looks like. Before that, any doubt, any questions you have? Yes, please. Yes, Gautam, from any background you can apply for it. You can opt for this course, right? If you know how to run a laptop, that is more than enough for me. Rest of the things, just leave it to me. Yes, anyone else? Any doubt? You can unmute yourself. I don't have an issue. And even my sessions are going to be interactive. So wherever you are feeling like, just unmute yourself and ask your questions. Yes, go
Hi,
ahead, please.
this is a just quick question.
Yeah,
The
please.
timing is going to be same or
Sorry.
timings for this course?
Yes, timings for Windows Server, yes, it would be 8 o'clock, and rest Azure Cloud and Intune, that we will decide later on. Because first of all, we are going to cover Windows Server 25. As I mentioned, this is going to be the base. Because if you are going to, if you will have the knowledge of Server 25, it would be easy for you to understand cloud as well as Intune. So for server, yes, the timing would be 8 p.m. IST, and rest, it depends. Later on, we will let you know. Am I clear, Saeed?
Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. In last page, you have said about four modules and all for what? No, Zahir, it is three modules: Windows Server 25, Azure Cloud, and Microsoft Intune. Okay, the four, that is basically the career opportunities that after doing these three courses, or after doing these three modules, you can apply for these type of jobs. Okay, so if let's say, let's go to Naukri. So Naukri is the portal which is being used widely in India. Okay. Okay, let's search for system administrator or administration, whatever you want, or system and Windows administrator. That is also fine. Let's search what and all things they are asking for. Okay, first of all, you can see there are multiple jobs available with this, right? Now you can see Windows VMware, Windows Server Administration, right? Let me open this job. Openings are 25. That's good. Okay, so within Windows, now they are asking for Linux also, right? Requires in-depth and outstanding of VMware technologies, right? So this is basically virtualization, that how virtualization work. See, manage Active Directory group user computer objects AD schema. Windows Server 2016 or 2019 server support and troubleshooting. Load and deploy new servers. Create and maintain Windows Server images. So apart from Linux, most of the things we are going to cover in this Windows Server module. Okay, along with it, let's search for any other job also. Yeah, okay, let's search for this. Good knowledge of Azure Cloud. See, the job is for what? IT Windows System Administrator. But within this, they are asking for Azure also. They're asking about patch management. They're asking about DNS, DHCP, firewalls. They're asking about Active Directory, file server, group policies. So all these things I have already covered when I was explaining the things, right? So this is in front of you, the real data. That Windows Server is not enough now. And even if I'll go with any other job, you should be able to get this also, like your Intune also. Let me search for any other job. Let's go with this NXP. And now see, subject matter expert, experience managing Hyper-V. Again, Hyper-V is Microsoft virtualization tool, right? So these are must. Mm, VMware virtualization, information windows. Okay, that is fine. Okay, let's search for this system and Windows administrator. Now see, they're asking for Microsoft 365 administration also, like Teams Online, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online. right? Now, security compliance, implementing security policies, role based access control, RBAC, multi-factor authentication, Azure AD conditional access, data loss prevention, DLP. The job is for 3 to 4 years of experience. Still, Windows Server knowledge is not enough. They have mentioned about Windows Server administration, EDDS, DNS, DHCP, group policies, print services, GPOs, group policy, virtualization, Hyper-V. Along with it, they are asking about cloud knowledge also, Exchange Online, Teams Online, OneDrive. So this is real data, guys. I have not made this data, right? That is why this combo will definitely help you out to apply for these kind of jobs. Even you can see, right? 100 plus applicants already applied for this job. All right. And even don't worry, I'm going to prepare you for the interviews also. I will prepare you for it. I will give you the interview question on each and every module. Be it be it is your Windows Server, or it is your Intune, or it is your Azure. Study material, interview question, scenario based questions, CV preparation, how to apply for the jobs, what and all are tricks that you can follow to apply for a job, and there would be the high chances of getting the call for that particular job. So these tricks and these all things I'm going to help you out throughout this module, throughout this complete module. Okay. Now, let me just give you a glimpse of the tool, which is first of all Windows Server 2025. Okay. So I have already made one server which is configured in the networking data center. Just give me a moment. What happened? Okay, right. So this is Hyper-V, guys, the Microsoft product for virtualization. It comes free of cost whenever you are going to have the Windows Server, as well as if you have Windows 10 Pro or Windows 11 Pro, then you will be getting Hyper-V in free of cost. You need not to pay a single penny for it. Okay. So after installing the Hyper-V in your laptop, I will let you know how we can do that. Okay. This is just a demo session. Later on, once we'll start our classes, I will let you know how to get the Hyper-V on your devices, how to configure the virtual machines. So initially, we'll talk about the virtualization only. Initially, we will talk about the Hyper-V only. Because until unless you are not going to have the knowledge on Hyper-V, you will not be able to work on further things, right? So we'll talk about Hyper-V first, then how to create the virtual machine. So I already configured some of the virtual machine, right? So let me just log in one of them. So this is checkpoints. I will let you know what are these checkpoints, how it is going to help you out in real time, or even when you are going to do any kind of critical activity on your server. It is always recommended that you should take the snapshot or checkpoint basically. So that if let's say during the critical activity, if something went wrong with your server, then you will be in a position to get your services back without any issue. So we can apply the checkpoint and we can get our services back when our server was running in the running fine. So we will be able to get the server state, and you can start working with it. Okay. So let me connect it. So for now, this is my domain controller, primary domain controller, which is configured with the domain name nk.com, right? So I can log in into it. So Active Directory is basically, you can, in just layman language, you can understand that Azure AD is the phone book of the organization, where actually I am going to keep the data of my users, of my employees. So whenever a new employee join the organization, as a system administrator, it is my responsibility to create his or her user account in my AD so that he will be able to access my company resources. So that account we can configure in the, or we can create in our Active Directory, right? So to create the account, I'll go to tools, and then there would be uh, one option called Active Directory users and computers. And then you can see users, and here I'm going to create the users account. So once I will create one user account here, let's say I'm creating with the name Max, then next, and then I'll give the one-time password. Later on, user can reset it by their own. Next and finish. Now, this user can log in into my domain laptop, as well as he can access my domain resources, or he can access my file servers, or whatever type of access I'm going to give him, he can control it. And under computers, so here you can see users, and under computers, whosoever system is going to be the part of your domain nk.com, those computers are going to be visible here. Let's do a small lab. I'm going to join one client system. This is my Windows 10 client system. I will join this system into my domain. How to make it, again I'm saying don't worry about it, we will cover the things from the scratch. Okay, let me start it. So as you know guys, computers, how computers will be able to talk to each other? Okay, let me just put a question on you. How computers communicates? Yes, how computers communicates?
Through network.
with the help
Yes,
of IP address.
exactly, with the help of IP address. So we have to configure the IP addresses, both the sites, then only the system can become the part of my domain. All right, so let me just log in into it. So this is my Windows 10 machine, right? And in the checkpoint, I have already configured IP, but just for your knowledge, let's go to the network settings, ncpa.cpl. You can see the network adapter. You can go to its properties, then you can go to IPv4 and you can assign IP to your device. For now, I have defined static IP, but in real time, DHCP is going to assign the IP to your devices. So don't worry. Once we will cover DHCP topic, I will let you know how the devices are going to get the IP from your DHCP, and it would be automatically assigned. No need to assign IP manually. Okay. Just for now, I'm just going with the manual IP because DHCP is not configured yet in my environment. Okay. Then I will join this system onto domain. I'll go to sysdm.cpl. This is the shortcut, and then I'll go to change, and then I will define domain, and my domain name is nk.com. Before that guys, I should be able to communicate with my AD, with my domain controller, right? So either you can try pinging the IP of your domain controller. In my case, the IP is 192.168.1.1, and then OK. So you are getting the IP from this, you are getting the response from this IP. Along with it, you should verify one more thing. This is just a troubleshooting process, guys. If let's say you are getting the response from the IP, but you are not getting the response from the domain name, then system can't be the part of domain. Okay, so I will ping it with the name ping nk.com and then enter. So I'm able to ping it. That is all because DNS is configured, domain naming server is configured. That is why I'm able to ping this domain name as well. Okay, now just go OK and join this system by defining the IP address, oh sorry, by defining the credentials of your administrator. Then OK. And now the system is part of your domain, and the domain user that you have created, Max, he will be able to log in into this machine now. Same way, if you will have thousands of users in your devices, in your AD, then you should have the device in your domain, and then the user will be able to log in onto those devices. Even I can apply the group policies also. For now, I'm not making it too much difficult. Just a simple lab where I have joined the system into domain, and then I'm trying logging in with the domain user account. Rest group policies and all. If let's say tomorrow is also going to be a demo session, so I will cover the group policies implementation also. Okay. So max and then password. See, this is a user is able to log in, and now whatever the resources are there in my AD or in my whole domain environment, this user will be able to access it. So this is just a small lab that whenever you are going to onboard a new employee in your organization, then the process would be, first of all, we are going to create his user account in our AD, and then the laptop which we are going to assign him should be the part of our domain. So once the laptop will be the part of our domain, then the user will be able to log in into it. And even if you want to see the entry of this computer in your Active Directory, it should be visible in the computers now. Refresh and now you can see, guys, win-t, win-10 is the part of your domain. So this is a process whenever a new employee join your organization. Obviously, there would be some more things also that we'll be discussing in near future. Okay. So we will focus on server 2025. All right. And this would be your Intune portal. This would be your Intune portal. Intune portal. And here it is going to collect the data. As I mentioned, Intune is going to collect the data from your Entra ID from your Azure AD. Okay. Now the user's account, where you are going to create the user account under your entra.microsoft.com. So this is cloud active directory. This is your on-prem active directory. And in our topics, we will see that how we can synchronize our on-prem active directory to cloud active directory. Let's say I have 10,000 users already in my cloud, in my on-prem AD. So obviously I will not create 10,000 users account again. In spite of doing this, I will configure the AD synchronization so that the users which are there in my on-prem AD will be synchronized with my cloud AD. Okay, so this also we will see. So this is your cloud active directory, guys. Under users, whenever a new employee join your organization, you need to go to new user, create new user, and you have to fill out all the informations here. So until or unless you are not going to be aware of the on-prem active directory, it would be difficult to understand the cloud active directory. So again, that is the benefit of joining this whole module, guys, because you will be getting the exposure of both cloud or on premises. Still companies have their some of the companies, they are not moving the infrastructure on cloud. They are managing their own hardware. They don't want to do it, but you should have knowledge of both the things, because I showed you in the Naukri, on the Naukri portal also, right? Windows Server knowledge is not enough now. You should have knowledge of cloud as well as the device management, so that you can be the part of this era, and it would be easy for you to get the job, because this is now the future, right? And this would be your Azure portal. We will cover Azure 104, right? So for Azure 104, we have to create the account on Azure. Now, whatever virtual machines we are going to create on our on-prem network, see, I have configured the virtual machine on Hyper-V, right? Now, if companies don't want to configure the infra on Hyper-V, then in that case, they can create the virtual machines on Azure. This is Azure portal, and then you can create your virtual machine here. Select virtual machine, and then whatever type of virtual machine you want to create, be it is your Linux virtual machine, or it would be your Windows client or Windows server, you can create it. Azure supports Linux as well as Windows. Mac, it doesn't support. Only AWS supports Mac operating systems, right? So if you will configure server 2025 here, you will be able to get the server 25 virtual machine. But until or unless you are not going to have the knowledge of server 25, then how you will be able to work on Azure? So this is what we will learn in uh, Windows Server module, and then it would be easy for us to understand Azure infra. Okay. And this session, as I mentioned again earlier, that this session is going to be interactive, and I will be providing you all the study material, all the interview questions, scenario based questions, and we will have some interview session also during our classes. In the end, once we will complete all our topics, then we can have one or two session for the interview itself, where actually I will put on some interview questions to you, so that you can prepare yourself and so that you can target the jobs. Now, any doubt, any question from your side? So hopefully I'm clear to everyone.
Yes, Satya.
That's great. Anyone else?
And I have one question, Satya.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. What about the certifications for the all three modules? Is separate
Okay.
certification?
Yes. If you want, you can get the certificate. You can apply for the certification for Windows for AZ 800. AZ 800 covers your Windows Server certification. You can see administering Windows Server, hybrid core infrastructure. You want dedicated for Azure, then you can go for Azure 104 certification. This would be the Azure 104 certification. And then if you want to get certified for Intunes, then you can write exam for, what was the exam code? MS 102 or MDM 102. Yeah, MS 102. Yep. Just a second. I think this is not the one. Okay, it is MD 102 then. Yeah, MD 102. Endpoint administrator. Yes, this is the one. So you can write these three exams if you want to get the global certificate from Microsoft. Got it?
Yes, they're clear. Thank you.
Great. So we don't have credit cards. So how we practice? Raj, that you need not to worry about. We will see that. Okay. We'll try to arrange some vouchers, right? Not worry about it. Anyone else? Any doubt? Any question?
साहित्य सर
Yes, please, Vishal.
सर एक डाउट है मेरा
बोलो.
जैसे कि हमने सर्वर बिल्ड किया
ठीक है.
एज्योर पे तो
ठीक है.
हम जब उसे बिल्ड कर देते हैं और बिल्ड हो गया पूरी तरह से उसके बाद हम उसे जब लॉगिन करते हैं ना तो कई बार क्या होता है वो जो इमेज होती है
हम्म.
वो हम जब आरडीपी लेते हैं बिल्ड होने के बाद तो वो डोमेन में ज्वाइन मिलता है हमें तो उसका प्रोसेस क्या होता है मतलब कई बार हम मैनुअली ज्वाइन करते हैं कई बार वैसे होता है
हाँ, तो अगर आपने उसको इंट्यून से एंट्रा आईडी रजिस्टर्ड बना दिया है, राइट, तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो सिस्टम आपकी डोमेन का पार्ट बन जाएगा.
ए,
अगर आपने उसको एंट्रा आईडी रजिस्टर नहीं किया, देखो जैसे अभी मैं अगर यहाँ पे एक वीएम बनाने जाता हूँ, ये देखो वर्चुअल मशीन वीएम.
Can you speak in English because I
Yeah, sure. No problem. Yeah. Okay, so the question was, sometime whenever he used to create a virtual machine in Azure, right, it becomes the part of the Entra ID, and sometime it is not, right? The issue is whenever he is creating the virtual machine, right, there would be one option. Let me show. Let me show you. So resource group is must. I'll go with RG1 VM. Let's say demo hyphen VM. Then that is fine. I will explain all these things, guys. Okay, this is just a testing lab. No need to worry about. In the classes, we will be talking about all these things. Username, you can assign any as of now. Password. 3389, that is fine. Next disk, next networking. Let's leave it as it is. Again, I will cover it, guys. No need to worry about these things. Management. Log in with Microsoft Entra ID, right? Or if I'll click on this enable system assigned manager entity, then automatically it will be registered with my Entra ID. Okay, and this server should be visible here. Then in that scenario, it is going to be visible in enter id. You can go to devices, and in the devices this server is going to be visible. Got it?
Okay.
So you can check, just log in on your enter id and log in on your Azure portal and see whosoever devices are registered with enter id. So all those devices should be visible here, or
So
maybe come
same
up in the
login.
next. Hmm.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, or maybe just come up with your laptop next time, or maybe you can share your screen. I will show you that whosoever devices are part of your AD, enter ID, or who are not. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yes. Yes, Dinesh, go ahead, please.
Yes, just the same login we have to use so for enter ID and the two are
Yes,
different.
both will
Or
work. This is going to be the local admin. If let's say this account which I have created right now, this account would be the local AD, local admin account.
father server login you are saying, right?
Yes, right.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
and if I want that, I should be able to log in with my enter ID account. That also is possible. That also we can do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Aditya, this is going to be a mix of Hindi and English. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, guys, so if there is no question, so let's wrap up for today. And once everything is going to be finalized, right? Maybe from Wednesday we will have our regular classes. I will create your WhatsApp group. I will give you all the study material, like one class
वॉइस ब्रेक
previous
हो रही है.
batches also. Checking for everyone.
Your voice is getting break.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, okay, great,
It's not
great.
clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I ask a
See,
question?
just a second.
Hello?
See, I will, yeah, I'll take your query. Just give me a moment. I will create the classroom for all the modules. Like you can see, one is for MCSA, there's one for Intune, then is your 104. So in this classrooms, you will be able to get all the study material. Like you can see, I did for the previous batches. You can see the documents, interview question, PPTs, or study material. Likewise, you will be getting all the documents, all the interview question for MCSA, basically Windows Server, then your Intune, and then the Azure 104.
कि ये सर एक्सेस कैसे होगा?
Once from first class itself, I will give you the access of it. Just let's
ओके
wait
सर.
for
ओके.
maybe today or tomorrow. Um, Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, yeah. Then we'll see. I will give you the access, and you guys can join the classroom, and you can get the access of these material, and you can download it in your laptop also. Yes, please. Who was asking? There was some question.
Yes.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just curious. I know you just said that the class is going to be in Hindi and English combined, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, is your communication is going to be both in Hindi, in English, or it's just going to be?
That depends on the majority, Mohammed, right? For now, I can't say anything. So let me just get the information from the networkings. So based on the information I am going to receive from them, we will decide that what is going to be the language mode.
Okay. I don't mind people asking question in Hindi, but if you can respond at least in English.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So someone was asking in Hindi, then itself I explained it in English itself. So don't worry about it. So I will connect with networkings, and then we'll get the information from them. Then that which is what is going to be the language mode for this batch. Okay,
Okay.
that is something I should worry about. Don't worry. Okay, I will take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
What about duration for this classes, Satya?
Oh, almost it will take 4 months.
Okay, so everyday class or weekend class?
Everyday class would be there,
So
1.5 hour.
what will be the timing?
Timing mostly it would be 8 p.m. IST for at least
Okay,
Windows Server as of now. This information I got from the networkings. For rest of the modules, that we will decide accordingly how it goes.
no problem. So first we are
But
going to start.
initially it would be 8 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, so first we are going to start the MCSA,
Windows
right?
Server. Windows Server, correct. Because that is the foundation, that is the base. Got it?
Yes, Satya. Okay, yeah, thank you, Satya.
Okay then. So we will connect in the next class and then we'll see whether
Yeah,
it is going to be a demo
Samitra,
session.
I have one question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Zahir. Actually,
Zahir, yep.
from next week onwards, I have my night shift, and the problem is that you said the timing will be at 8 p.m. in the night. So, if
Hmm.
I want to continue, is there any way I can connect, or is there any other batch
Yes,
I can?
so just have a word with networkings. They will let you know
Okay.
in that scenario
Okay.
what you can do. Maybe if let's say there would be any upcoming batch, so then you can have a word with them and then they will let you know.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
I'm not
Thank
the
you so much.
decision maker in that scenario. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. Got your
yeah,
point.
yeah. Thanks, Zahir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Any other doubts? Conditional access, yes, we'll do. Don't worry. Conditional access policy, conditional authentication, Adhiraj, that would be there obviously. How we can skip it? Chalo then. Then I'll see you in the next class, guys. And I will create all these links for you. And then initially we'll start with Windows Server. Then we'll start Intunes. And then we'll go with AZ104. Okay. So thanks for joining this session. I would really appreciate your feedbacks. Just do let us know if you want some improvements or if you want some, add-ons. Just do let us know. It would be really appreciable.
सर
Thank
ये
you very much.
लैंग्वेज का ही इशू होगा, हिंदी और इंग्लिश का।
Vishal, that just connect with them. They will let you know how we will go with this. Okay.
ओके सर, ओके, थैंक
Yeah,
यू।
yeah.
Yes, Satya.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
classes.
everyone. Bye bye.
So,
Take care.
yeah,
Good
Thank,
night.
thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.